Liminal space videos. Just another momentary trend that has already peaked, been exploited, and played out, like ASMR, mukbang, and the Harlem Shake. I'm not very good at chasing trends, so I'm not going to let the previous facts stop me from following my true natural creative compulsions just because they might be passé. The definition of liminal has been broadened with the rise in its awareness, to the degree sometimes the term is used rather generously or even incorrectly. More so than other videos I've seen and have even done, this film is quite more accurately a truer definition example, as not only is this place a lonely and empty former shell of itself, but literally going through a transition at this moment, from its original era as an outlet mall to its next era as a mixed-use entertainment district, inspirationally called The District. Here you can see a music venue with the equally poignant name of The Factory, and here's the sign for the seemingly conjectural amenity known as The Hub, complete with a unique art piece in front with the deep thought-provoking name of The Cog. I wonder what the heck this thing abandoned on the bench is. If I had to guess, I'd say it's some kind of old worn-out sub-Ethernet hitchhiking device from a second-rate advanced alien race. I really don't like to be one to diminish anyone's honest entrepreneurial good time, but even I couldn't help sense the slightest whiff of unexpected relatability to the sentiments of 80s skateboarding punks decrying everything about suburbia as a lame marketing shill version of anything cool. At least I think I'm wise enough to realize that while I'm on the anti-millennial gray bandwagon now, I'll feel all warm and fuzzy nostalgic about it when it's out of style, neglected, and falling apart in the future. Best we not read too much into why this is so. I genuinely think I'm an optimistic, non-apocalyptic person. I don't get me either. We got over the neon aquamarine fad of the 80s and 90s. Now we're living in Malaise era 2, revenge of the syntho-natural monotones, making once unacceptably garish and out-of-date brown, avocado, and harvest gold now wildly interesting. I'm sure the cycle of fashion colorfulness will come around again someday. In the meantime, aside from my little unsolicited opinions, I offer you this short, thinly researched lowdown on this project property. This was a newly built outlet mall that opened in 2013, just a few miles and a few weeks apart from another outlet mall, both within just a few automobile minutes from the already declining traditional Chesterfield Mall, a retail juggernaut for the area since the mid-1970s. This did bring a big boost in retail spending in Chesterfield overall at first, of course, with great support from the massive retail developments of THF already established in the valley, but some of that gain was at the expense of other established businesses in the area. In just 5 years, this was essentially a dead mall and was commandeered in 2018 by the Steinberg Group, an ambitious local developer keen on the trendy mixed-use utopian dream style of property development, who incidentally picked up the core of the traditional Chesterfield Mall for a mere $16 million in 2020. Their big plans for that place is another story, but here they seem to have made headwinds into reaching their goal, if still a far cry from full occupancy. This footage was taken at an especially empty time, as a primary space is reconfigured for new leases of Four Hands Brewery and another High Point restaurant location. Additionally, I think they've been slowly gaining other tenants, and I'm certainly rooting for Steinberg's success. It looks like they're doing their best to make this a nice space, and my only real critique is the genericness, with names about as meaningful and unique as a video titled Liminal Walkthrough of a Dead Chesterfield Outlet Mall. But I'm sure they know their numbers-based marketing formulas, and I'm always on board with making a buck enabling, if not providing, good happy times for people. I certainly want to tip my cap to their dedication to local business rather than clamoring to get back all the lost typical national chain mall stores. They certainly have their work cut out for them while juggling their other, much bigger de-retailification project at the old Chesterfield Mall, and I feel it is worth mentioning that at this very moment I am writing this in September 2024, the Prestige Outlet Mall down the road from here, which overwhelmingly won the New Chesterfield Valley Outlet Mall race of 2013, is itself in dire straits with maturing loans of tens of millions of dollars coming due in a matter of weeks. These are very difficult times for brick and mortar for all the reasons discussed 1,000 times before, but I can't imagine it ever disappearing altogether. The thought that worries me is shopping in the real world at all is going to become a luxury in of itself, and while I dislike disappearing middle-class theory, I can see some evidence as it seems we are slowly being divided between those of us who can still sometimes afford to support local community enterprises like this, despite the cost of needing a highly regulated automobile and its fuel, as well as the ability to pay 8 times for food and drink what it would cost to have at home, and those mostly constrained financially, one way or another, to a limited area of town with far fewer choices and amenities, other than the dependable but dependency-invoking options of a certain couple box stores and websites. That's why I advocate for shopping small and local to whatever degree within your means and desires. Walmazon does not need your patronage. The 80-year-old family-owned hardware store on the corner does. Sound home economics have their place, but the value of living always doesn't have to be about getting the most stuff for the least dollar. I could keep going down this ranty philosophical rabbit hole, but I'll spare you all for now, so we can just enjoy looking at this micro moment of retail history, to be bottled up for storage in the dark, dingy corner of the internet's wine server, when perhaps, one day, it might be rediscovered as a vintage video that accrues a second moment of novel interest simply due to its age. Thank you for watching. I don't know, I had to get out of that script somehow.